Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome tonight to the opening home game for the Norristown Eagles and a completely new season. Very few of us can forget last year's success as the Eagles carried us all the way into the districts and almost made it into the state championship game. Tonight's opponents, another very good team from the district, the Patriots of Penwood. But Frank, a whole new look, new season for Norristown. What are some of the things that we should look forward to from the Eagles?
Well, Jim, we have 4 returning lettermen who are really good players. Jeff Thomas, who I think can be all league, maybe all district. Kurt Lever, Craig Jones, and Rich Mayer. The new players to look for this year, the new guys that we're bringing out that we really expect something from are Eric Fisher, who came away from the PW game with 13 points, which was pretty good for his first start. Derek Perry, a sophomore, Harry Allen, a sophomore, and Brian Tolliver. So that'll be probably the basic team for this year.
One of the interesting things, Frank, about some of those new players you mentioned too is that several of them tonight are going to step right into starting roles, even though they haven't been used to them. And it will be very interesting to see how they can perform and what they can do in those roles. One of the things I think down the year that might make a difference is getting these guys starting time early on in the year so that when we come into the crunch of the league and hopefully into the district playoffs, they will have court experience and we won't be down to a 5 or a 6-man squad. Frank, we have some problems with this team this year, I think, to be very honest. What do you see as some of the things that may cause Mr. Cresswell, John, some problems during this year?
Well, one problem is a problem Norristown seems to have all the time, and that is height, or I should say lack of height. This almost compels Cresswell to stick to his the type of game he played last year with the full court press, always putting pressure on the other team, trying to get the ball, scoring on the transition game. He's going to have a very difficult time playing the set piece type basketball game without any height. The second biggest problem is probably going to be eligibility. As you know, Jim, our eligibility requirements are much more stringent than the PIAA regulations, and Cresswell's going to have a tough time this year keeping everybody eligible. I don't know what kind of pressure he can put on them, but that's going to be a problem. I would predict this, if he could keep his top 8 players eligible, we would win the league and be very competitive in the district. But that's going to be a big question mark. Eligibility will certainly be a problem.
Speaking about that eligibility, that's something we're going to see tonight. In both the PW game and tonight's game with Penwood, we're going to be missing a couple starters, potential starters at least, because of eligibility. Another thing I think about that, Frank, I know that our eligibility standard is a lot higher than the state's, but I've always questioned the PIAA standard. The rule reads, I think, that you must be passing 4 subjects. In our school, where a student is required 55 credits each year toward graduation, theoretically someone could play 4 years and be 60 credits behind on graduation. That strikes me as being a little ridiculous. I think PIAA has somewhere along the way to look at their eligibility standards.
I agree with you, Jim. Let's face it, there's not too many kids out here that are going to be big-time college, and certainly I don't think there are any that are going to make the pros. They've got to get the high school diploma. That's number one. And I have to admire our principal, Mr. Spencer, for sticking to his guns on this eligibility thing. It's much more important for them to get a high school diploma than gain a basketball reputation and end up being a dropout.
Well, this is especially true of those going on to college. And we have the players from last year's team and others, such as Kenny Cool, who are playing in college. And, you know, there it's expected that they're going to have to perform. And we certainly want those that can, we want to see them go on and have a good college career. John Cresswell mentioned another problem that has come up this year. Last year he had the luxury of a scout going to the games, and this really helped, I'm sure, as we moved on into district. What's happened with that this year, Frank?
Well, according to the coach, there's no scouting. I won't say they're not providing anything. It's my understanding, I may be wrong in this, but they do provide a budget of $10 a game to scout. Well, $10 doesn't go very far this year. But you need someone who's going to go out there, scout the other team, and then come back and be able to explain to your team what they saw. You can't just have some guy turning in a few notes. You got to have somebody who knows the game, who can come back and explain to the players what to look for, who to look for, what to expect.
Let's talk for a little bit about tonight's game, Frank. Penwood, team coming in, is a team who was in the district playoffs last year. I saw them down at Cheney against Glen Mills, and they had a very good team. But several of those people are not here, including Rap Curry, who's down starting for St. Joe's this year. What can we look forward in this game, particularly from our own team, the Eagles?
Well, the first thing we're going to look for is the absence of Rich Mayers. He had food poisoning all day today. He wasn't in school. He will not be playing tonight. This really puts more pressure on Coach Cresswell. As a result, with very little height, I would say look for a game which John Cresswell said will be a track meet. Players running up and down the court. Look for a lot of mistakes because it's early in the season, and I mean that from both teams. Look for a lot of scoring in the transition game, probably very little set-piece basketball. For Norristown, without Mayers, there's just about no height at all.
Yeah,
so I look for a fast game, a lot of full court pressure from Norristown, a lot of mistakes.
Penwood is a quick team. They opened earlier this year with a resounding victory over Westchester East. Much better last year and a down year this year, but the Patriots certainly got off to a good start. So I think we can see that ball, expect to see that ball going very, very quickly this year. It'll be interesting to see whether our kids can cope with that kind of speed and how they handle it.
Well, Jim, they did a nice job the other night against PW, I thought, especially without Kurt Lever. The score was 52-50. PW was up with only 20 seconds left. We could have won that game. As I say, 2-point game, 20 seconds left. Kurt Lever would have made that difference. There's no doubt in my mind, had he been there, Norristown would have won that ball game.
Coach Cresswell seemed pleased. He was not upset tonight. He said that he was satisfied with the results of that game. And he also pointed out that to take a look at this sophomore class, which is supposedly an excellent class, and you talked about the height of our varsity earlier. When you looked at that JV team, the JV team was much bigger than our varsity team.
It's certainly one of the largest or tallest JV teams I've seen in quite some time. I just hope they come on, because a couple years down the road, we could have one heck of a ball team.
Right, and you'd certainly like to see some of them mesh in this year where maybe they can provide some help. Harry Allen, who we both noticed last year playing on the JVs, is, I think, potentially a very excellent player. He's got height, he's got speed, he can handle the ball.
Yeah.
And you get one or two of those sophomores building in this year and the others coming along next year, and a couple of them growing 2 inches over this summer. It's something to look forward to. But we're concerned with this year, and we might be smart to take a look down the road a little bit, Frank. Wednesday night, Downingtown, our last non-league game. And then next week, we jump into 3, beginning this Friday, 2 away league games and 1 home league game, opening next Friday night with Penn Ridge. John Cresswell actually thinks that we can win the league again. I think we both feel the same way.
As I said, Jim, the key is eligibility. If our top 7 or 8 players remain eligible, there's no doubt in my mind we'll win the league. Districts will be competitive. The key is eligibility.
Okay. He also told me that he thinks that we can compete in the district this year, that, you know, we're not necessarily going to be out of district competition. So when we begin our league games toward the end of this coming week, some things to look forward to, you know, and it should work out real well. And certainly it gives us and our fans something to look forward to as we move along.
Well, as you know, Jim, the question mark in the league is Glen Mills. You never know what they're going to have, how good they're going to be. So far, they've won their first 2 games. It looks like they got another tough team. I just hope the players this year are from Pennsylvania.
Well, they've been tested in both those games, so it's not like last year where they stood out. And you know, last year was a unique year in the district. When you put Glen Mills and PW and us together, you had 3 of the very, very best high school teams competing out of the same district that we've seen for a long time. The strength may have shifted upstate a little bit to Reading and other places. We'll have to see as the league progresses.
I don't see our district as being strong this year. But of course, maybe the rest of the state isn't strong either. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
That's something we'll look forward to. I know I'm looking forward to this game tonight and our first view of the Eagles. We will be back shortly. This is Jim Nelson, Frank Winkle, the voices of the Eagle. tip-off should be in just approximately a minute and a half. Coaster?
Look at our star. Is red light on?
Welcome back to Norristown High School Gymnasium, ladies and gentlemen. We are just a few seconds away from tip-off. Eagles of Norristown and the Patriots of Penwood High. Starting for the Patriots will be an 11th grader, number 32, Steve Alston, 6 foot 2 inches, and number 55, a 10th grader, Richard Barnes, 6 foot 4 inches. Number 31, Orlando Harris, a 6 foot 1 12th grader, and number 14, a 5'11 12th grader, Matt Coaster, and their high score and the player to watch tonight, number 20, Mike Holmes, a 6 foot 12th grader. The starting lineup for the Eagles tonight is not, I don't think, the starting lineup that we're going to see a little bit later. Harry Allen is not starting because he missed a practice. Richard Mears is not starting because of food poison and not in school. So for the Eagles, it will be number 13, Eric Fisher, a 6 foot 1 inch 12th grader. Number 35, Craig Jones, also a 6 foot 1 inch 12th grader. Number 21, Derek Perry, a 6 foot 3 inch 10th grader. And we will be back with the rest of those lineups right after the Star Spangled Banner. The other two starters tonight for the Eagles of Norristown will be the 5'10 senior Jeff Thomas, wearing number 33, and number 3, a 5'7 11th grader, Brian Tolliver. Frank, it's going to be very interesting to see how the Eagles come out of the chute tonight.
Well, Jim, as I said, missing Mears certainly hurts a lot. I don't know how you make up for him. It's going to be interesting to see what Coach Cresswell does. I kind of missed the cheerleaders singing the Star Spangled Banner this year,
yeah,
Jim. You recall last year.
Nice tradition. Okay, number 21, Perry. And number 55 controlled the tap, Barnes, but it went back to the Eagles. Tolliver on the move over to Jeff Thomas. Thomas left-handed, handles the ball well, very quick. Back to Tolliver, outside the circle, over to Craig Jones. And Jones up with the first shot, no good. Rebound by Barnes, the 6 foot 4 inch 10th grader for Penwood. Quick break, and there it is. Number 31, Orlando Harris, with the first basket of the game. Penwood quickly out to a 2-0 lead, and Frank, we saw the fast break right away.
Yep, I expect both teams to do that all night. Penwood is playing a man-to-man.
Tolliver on the drive, yes, pulled up, short jumper, basket. Eagles falling back, not pressing full court. Coaster on the move. Looking down, looking inside for Barnes. Barnes being played by Perry. Ball in, Perry tries to block him out. Barnes on the move. Shot missed, but we have a foul.
Now, Jim, Barnes is only 6'4", yet out there he looks like a giant. And he's, you can see right away the Eagles are having problems.
Quick move inside. He's only a 10th grader also.
And Rich Mears would make a difference here.
Foul on Thomas. That's his first. And Frank, we noticed that the only two Eagles there who got considerable playing time last year were Jones and Thomas. So Cresswell is really starting over with a new team. Yeah, Mayers is 6'5", Lever's 5'11", but can sky, you know, so you got a lot of rebounds there.
Lever's one of those guys that they say he's taller than his height.
Barnes with a second. Patriots 3-2. Patriots not playing full court, picking up a half court. Tolliver looks pretty quick. There goes a great, ooh. Tolliver on the pass to Thomas. Good eyes on the pass of Tolliver. Nice pass. Thomas with the walk, though, and the Patriots take over under their own basket. Coaster on the dribble, moving up court, handling the ball, left-hand side. There goes Alston back to Coaster, long shot, no good. Battle for the rebound, and it's Tolliver on the save. There's a feed to Fisher. Fisher with a move, up, no good. Rebound battled for, 21 of the Eagles. Perry comes away with it. Misses, ball out of bounds. Off of Orlando Harris.
I'm sure one problem Cresswell has about pressing is that team out there now might not be the team that practiced together all week.
Quick break by the Patriots. Move on Mike Holmes, and that's Mike Holmes, the leading scorer for the Patriots. 5-2 Penwood, and this time they are coming with pressure. Over to Thomas. Thomas on the move, back to Tolliver. Tolliver looks for Jones. Jones moving inside, no good. Barnes may have caught a part of that. Here comes Coaster. Coaster down court in the basket. Orlando Harris, and we have a foul.
It's going to be interesting to see whether Penwood's coach really takes advantage of the height he has out there. It seems to me they could get that ball into Barnes, and he's going to pick up quite a few fouls.
And first 2 minutes of the game, Jeff Thomas has picked up 2 fouls. Not a good sign. Foul shot by Harris is good, and it's a 6-point margin, 8-2. And Thomas has to go out of the game already with number 12, Harry Allen, 6'3" sophomore, replacing him. Frank, I think Allen's going to be a good ball player. I'd like to see them get him the ball and see him go. Thomas did not go out. There's the feed.
This is surprising, leaving Thomas in there.
Thomas to Fisher for the basket. There goes Holmes on the move. He's met underneath. It's Allen battling him. Ball goes out of bounds. Coaster to key the inbound pass for Penwood. There goes Coaster looking deep. Nobody to throw it to. He finally finds Harris. Harris moves on the jumper. No good. Rebound. Coaster gets the ball away from Perry. On the move underneath. No good. Battle off the board. I think we have a foul on Barnes. Climbing over the back of Harry Allen. And here's the other thing we're going to see and have to watch for, Frank, this year. The battle on the boards as the Eagles try to contest with taller teams.
Well, they're going to have to get position because they don't have height. And getting position comes with experience.
There goes a throw into Thomas. Double teamed. Ball almost taken away by Harris.
You know, I'm surprised Penwood is putting the pressure on this early. I'm not sure they have to.
Well, I think they probably want to play that way, and you go with what you're going to be using during the year. There's Allen outside on the dribble. Looked like he stumbled. He may have tripped over Barnes' foot. No foul, though. Coaster on the move. Finds Harris. Harris to Barnes underneath. Barnes with an easy layup. Assist to Harris on a nice pass, and it's 10-4. Tolliver back up court to Craig Jones. On the move, no shot. Battling Perry underneath. Up, yes. Excuse me, Eric Fisher. And Frank, off the early play, and Fisher looks like he can rebound all right if they can get him minutes.
Well, as I said, he looked pretty good against PW. He did pick up 13 points. That was the first game of the season.
Barnes again on the rebound for Penwood. And Barnes very quickly is setting up as their leading scorer. Thomas misses a jump, battling underneath. There's Allen, a great move underneath with the left hand. And it's 12-8 Norristown. Neither team is bashful.
There's another foul on Thomas.
And there's a reach-in foul on Thomas, and that's a clear.
He shouldn't be the man out there doing that. With 2 fouls on him, he's not the guy you want in that position.
David Heckman off the bench for Norristown replacing Thomas, and that's certainly not what you want from one of your returning starters. Early foul trouble, reach-in foul, which is unnecessary. Ball to Coaster. Heckman's picking him up all court. On the move. There's a switch. Jones picking up. It's Harris on the move underneath. Jumper up and good. And Harris and Barnes very quickly. We have a walk, and that was a nice move that was set up by Coaster, who planted himself in front of Tolliver. He's got to give him room to come down, but he was there. There's Harris. Holmes almost came in bounds on that pass. There's Holmes. Good move, in for the jump shot, up, no good. Follows, nobody from the Eagles battling. Alston loses the ball. Barnes gets it back. There's a battle, and we have Allen and Fisher and Barnes, and we've got a jump ball. It will be Penwood ball.
Well, they're hustling out there, Jim, but as I said, I'm sure that certainly isn't the 5 who played together at practice.
Entering the lineup for Penwood is number 45, 12th grader Jim Smith. There goes the feed into Barnes. Barnes loses the ball. Nice play by Allen. Playing him from the rear, just tapped the ball enough to knock it out of bounds. And here goes Penwood with full court pressure. Broken fairly easy. Ekman on the dribble. Almost loses the ball and finally does. Barnes picks up. Lead pass down to Harris. Harris moves in. No good. Battle for the ball. Penwood on it. And we've got a jump ball. Barnes and Fisher this time. And the Eagles will get the ball out of bounds. Harry Allen inbounds the ball. Bound Tolliver down court with him and Heckman. There goes it to Jones, and we have a foul. Orlando Harris coming over the back. And one of the things, Frank, that you see with full court pressure, you are going to pick up fouls with that. And all of a sudden it becomes a case of who has the deepest bench.
Well, you'll recall last year we had an outstanding foul shooting team, and I think we're going to need that this year. I don't know if we have that, but that's...
Bother. There's a steal by Holmes. Fast hands on the drive. And the dunk. Frank, Holmes is 6 foot, and he was clearly over that basket. There's Harry Allen on the drive. Moves in, blocked by Barnes, but we have a foul on number 55, Barnes, and both teams getting subs up and ready. That's 2 fouls on Barnes. Tidwell coming in. Tidwell is a 6'2", 11th grader, and he replaces Barnes. And Barnes had 5 points already for Penwood.
Well, this is a smart move to take Barnes out at this point. You've got doubled Norristown's score. There's no reason to leave him in there and let him get into serious foul trouble.
Entering the lineup for the Eagles is number 20, Adrian Simmons. I'm sure that Coach Cresswell hopes that he can get the same kind of production out of Adrian Simmons that he got out of his brother Louis last year, who came in and often triggered rallies from the bench. There goes the pass on the drive, no good. Rebound by number 32, Steve Alston. And right now, Frank, Penwood's doing it on the boards. They're getting second and third shots, and that really makes the difference. There's Simmons on the move, almost loses it. Pass goes into Allen. Allen with a jump over to Jones. Jones with a layup. It almost looked as though Allen lost that ball.
Yeah.
But it was right there to Jones, and it's 18-11. 7-point lead for the Patriots.
I'm not sure who that foul was on.
You know, Frank, I told Coach Cresswell before the game that they were going to have to slow this down so you and I could catch up to the action. And I'm not sure that with the way they're running up and down the court that we're going to be able to keep up with them all evening.
Well, this is the kind of running game you expect early in the season, but not only because it's early in the season, Cresswell has no choice. He has a team with no height. He's got to try to score on the transition game. But I'll tell you, Penwood, they get down fast. They get down, they start playing defense fast. They harass you all over the court. It's going to be a tough game for Norristown.
And you can see that Penwood is going to be able to score. Here we are, 5 minutes and 6 seconds going by. They've put up 18 points on the board already. You keep up that pace, you're going to score a lot of points. Penwood already has number 31, Orlando Harris, with 7 points. Leading the Eagles so far is Eric Fisher with 4, and Harry Allen, who came off the bench to replace Thomas, with 3. There's Harris on the outside, a long jumper, way off, air ball, Allen. Allen over to Heckman. Heckman bringing the ball up. Finds Fisher. Fisher with a jumper up. Yes, he's got it, and that's 6 points for Eric Fisher. Eric Fisher is a find, Frank. I wonder where he was last year. Huh? Oh, okay. Eric Fisher was on the JVs last year. 2013, steal by Holmes, on the move, yes.
That's his second steal. That's 4 points, Norristown.
He's got very fast hands. There's Allen. Allen on the dribble, going in, he drives. I don't know what happened there. Ball was hit by Tidwell, I think, or Smith, and knocked out of bounds. And here comes Todd Jackson, a 6'1" 12th grader. Penwood coach Frank Ridpath does not hesitate using his bench. 4 of them went already. There's a great pass to Jones, but right behind him we have the block. Ball stolen away. On the move, it's Alston. Alston going all the way with a layup. And it's Penwood 24, Norristown 13. There goes the pass down court to Jones. Jones on the move with a left hand, misses the layup. But we have a foul on Jackson.
That's a good foul if you stop him from scoring.
Yeah,
he's going to score anyway, so make him put him in from the foul line.
You make him put him in from the foul line, and you may actually end up gaining a point on one like that.
But I think you might see this year just how crucial Norristown's foul shooting was last year.
First shot by Jones is up and good, cutting the lead to a 10-point Patriot lead. And here comes a player in for Penwood whom we don't have on the roster. And Frank, I think he's now, Ridpath has used 5 players off of the bench, which at this pace is a smart move. There, rebound by Harry Allen, Frank, and that's the thing I think we can learn to expect. Harry Allen is only a sophomore, and already Coach Cresswell has been likening him to Binky Johnson, and that's very heady company to be in, you know? 2 years of growth. We may be able to expect a lot from that young man.
That's true. He could put on a few inches.
Rebound by Jones. Jones feed off. Shot is missed by Fisher. Battling for the rebound. Allen has it, moves in, and scores. That's 7 points for Harry Allen, and the Eagles very quickly are back to within 6. Penwood with Holmes sets up. This is one of the few times they've slowed down to set the ball up. Man-to-man Eagle, almost with a steal. Holmes back with it on the drive. Good move, misses the layup. Rebound underneath, nobody contesting him, and Holmes scores. That's 10 points for Mike Holmes. Shot missed. Here comes Holmes back with the ball. Penwood on the move quickly. Pass comes over to Tidwell. Tidwell with a shot up off the front of the rim. Battle for the boards. Attempt to knock it out of bounds, and the Eagles come away with it. Ball stolen, almost stolen back by Fisher. There goes to Holmes. Holmes on the charge.
Okay, good call. Good call. He had position. He was moving backwards.
We'll see whether the basket counts. Holmes is asking for substitution. He's tired. And Frank, you can understand this. The pace from this game is pretty quick. And here goes Matt Coaster coming back in.
I'll tell you, Jim, I don't know how you keep up with what's going on here.
Frank, I think some of the Eagles players might be a little tired already. I can't imagine a Plymouth White Marsh game was played at this pace. Allen misses. There goes Fisher on the rebound. Jump shot back. Yes, nothing but twine. Eric Fisher with 8 points. Pass goes into Coaster. Coaster saves it. Battle. And here comes Allen on the move. Ball stolen back. It's in the hands of Coaster. Coaster with a spin move on the drive, tries to get a shot, front of the ring. It's Fisher back. There goes Craig Jones on the move, loses the ball, and he's got a double dribble on Fisher. And that's the end of the first period. Penwood 26, Norristown 20, with a game that can best be called frenetic. A tremendously fast pace for this game, Frank.
We have some special fans who just came in behind us, Jim.
Looks like the Northeastern Christian School is showing up here.
Lou Simmons and Flowers and Mike Evans are back there.
We could use some of these guys in
I
uniform.
said, you think we could sneak one of them in tonight?
Getting tired out here tonight.
Well, Norristown is making some good steals, Jim, but then it's being stolen back from them, and a lot of it is just the fact that they lack the experience.